Hello, all. Welcome in the series of learning virtualization and cloud computing. Today, we are going to learn about virtualized local area network and virtualized storage area network. So let's introduce you with the agenda of today's session. So we will begin with the understanding of virtualized local area network, where we will learn various aspects related to VLAN concept, and then after that we will shift it to the virtual storage area network. And I will end up this session by demonstrating you various advantages which the virtual storage network is providing to us. So let's now start discussion on the virtual local area network. So VLAN, as the name simplifies, it is a virtual, means it will definitely going to provide me a logical version or a logical partitioning. It is a logical partitioning of local area network. Okay, simply if I have to let you know what is this local area network and what is the virtual local area network. This is in, let's suppose, my entire local area network. Okay, a physical connection it is. Once I will get the opportunity to segment it in any way, okay, then I will say this is a part of VLAN. Now this will be the concept of VLAN. Now, the idea here is VLAN is a set of workstations, some number of workstations or nodes, whatsoever you want to say, will be there within a LAN network that can communicate with each other as though they were on a single isolated LAN. So, this is the important point to understand here. When we are creating a VLAN network, when we are logically segmenting the network, then all the nodes which are part of this virtual LAN, they consider their area is now restricted to that particular VLAN only, and they are working in isolation. They are not aware that there is a larger or the another part also for the LAN which has been existing. Now, the reason behind why we have implemented this technology was because the LAN networks were facing the problem of congestion. So, in order to reduce that problem of traffic as well as congestion, the involvement or implementation of VLAN was done. So later on, here is a detailed description of how the LAN can be considered as a congested one. When you are using the LAN network and the number of nodes which are participating in that LAN network is limited, then you can get the better throughput from this entire LAN network. But as the network will start growing, as more and more number of nodes will be added into the LAN network, then there will be more chances that the packets that one of the node want to send will get collided within the another packet. Reason being because the LAN networks are working with the use of one single coaxial cable. Okay, so there is a one channel only through which the entire network or communication will take place. So if the number of nodes will be more, then there are more chances of the congestion being there. So this is what the point has been written, because most of the time when a workstation tried to send a package, it would find that the wire that was already occupied by a packet sent by some other device. So, this is the basic problem which the LAN connections are facing, due to which the three solutions were provided. Okay, this concept, very first two concepts, we are very well aware of. Like, first of all, traditionally, when this problem was occurred, so the concept of using the routers was being used because the ideology was to reduce the congestion. Okay, so we know that routers can be used to partition the LAN network easily, right? Under each and every router, we can simply partition the LAN network. There are certain nodes being provided under each and every router. So, similarly, in order to further enhance the problem of congestion, we also make use of the switches. And in the end, we have also implemented a new technology which we are nowadays called as the virtual LAN network. Let's start understanding about all of these in detail. So when we talk about the use of routers as well as switches was there, so there were some problems associated within these devices. Like if I am talking about routers first, these are highly expensive in nature, right? And then they also work at slow level because they are provided here in the layer 3 of the OSI model. So layer 3 basically falls in the networking layer. So it is that's why considered as a slow device, means its operation is done very slow in comparison to the another devices. So the another thing is there, if you are not using the routers or the routing is not available, then you need to use the bridges in order to make use of these non-routable protocols. So this is the things that were being used in order to use routers to segment the LAN network. Furthermore, switches were the another achievement, you could say that, in the technology of achieving the congestion problem in the LAN networks. So what does the switches were doing? As you can also see it here from the diagram, the switches are provided with the ports. Okay, and through each ports, what we are doing, we are assigning a certain number of hubs. Okay, the point here is that with the use of the switches, we are making small logical connections. Now this is helping us to reduce the problem of congestion, because now the traffic will only flow through these specific LAN segments only. But the biggest hurdle behind this networking facility was when the user want to switch from one physical location to another physical location, then this applicability was not working well. Okay, so switches was restricted to the physical location. That's why in the another scenario we started working with the concept of virtualized local area network. So that is the VLANs concept. It is quite similar to the one which we were using in the switches. Now the point here is, the switches are, instead of providing us the connection to the restricted number of, you could say that, the hubs. Now what we are doing is, you can see here, this is the VLAN A. The VLAN A is also provided here. VLAN A is also provided here, means with the use of different switch ports, we can simply distribute the nodes among the multiple switches, and even then it will fall under the same category of the single LAN. This was the power of working with this virtual LAN network. So the congestion problem was definitely been reduced because we have logically segmented the connection. Now, if we are talking about the communication between VLAN, so this is how they would be able to communicate. Now the next point here is that even if the user want to switch its physical location, even then that is not going to be a troublesome or a problem for the people who want to change their location from one place to another, because this entire network is virtual one, so we can easily manage it, and we can easily work upon this. Then the advantage of these VLANs was, the very first one is the performance. So if the congestion is been reduced within the network, from the network, then definitely the data transfer rate between the LAN has ultimately been increased. So VLANs are providing us the better performance for the LAN networks. Then, by forming small virtual groups, now you are not limited to a specific physical location only. You can easily communicate with the people who are part of that particular virtual work group, so that the businesses, as well as whatsoever the purpose behind making those virtual work groups, should be resolved easily. Then the flexibility is being provided to the user, as I already discussed. You need not to restrict yourself with the one system only, or you can change your positions from any particular place, right? So physically, you are not no more dependent now. Then ease of partitioning of resources. This particular concept is in context of the security. Like if you want to share some data between the entities which are part of the VLAN, you can easily share it among them, and you can restrict the other people which are not part of your VLAN to access that particular data using the same LAN network. So I hope that you have understood the concept of VLAN so far. Now let's shift to the virtual storage area network now. So here I have taken one of the very important or popular diagram from the VMware's vSphere hypervisor. Okay, so the idea here is that now we are using the storage area networks. Now, what is a storage area network? This itself is a storage area network which is equipped with so many secondary storage devices. Okay, so these devices are not only restricted to SSDs or hard disks only, even the slower devices like you could say the disks itself, right? CDs, I would say, compact disks. Then floppy disks can also be used, which could be part of this storage devices. So idea here is, if I am saying there are number of servers which are been part of a data center. Okay, so what we will be doing, these servers are now only handling the user queries. They are just taking the request by the users in order any request is coming for handling the data or for storing the data, right? So this request is bypassed into this storage area network where the data is actually being stored in all of these devices which I am talking about, like SSDs, hard disk has been there. So this is a now centralized storage mechanism. This particular implementation of data, like which has been managed under the storage area network, is providing us a centralized access to manage the resources, right? Furthermore, if the requests are high or during the peak days, the server will not get loaded now with the queries, or with the wait time for the users will be reduced, because they are directly bypassing the query to this very large storage area network, as the data is fully stored here. And just because the space is very huge, so it was easy to take out the data and to process it, right? So now let's understand what is this virtual storage area network. Same is the case. This entire space is now been virtualized. These are my, let's suppose, the hosts or the servers. Okay, and over that we have implemented the virtualization facility, and in like vSphere we have used. Now vSphere is equipped with the virtualized storage area network. Due to that, number of VMs who want to store their data, they will be using this facility to get their storage done. Now what is the benefit that these VMs are going to get? So their availability for the application will be enhanced. As I said, the request to take access of these applications or software will be now been done in a very rapid rate. So that's why the availability will be enhanced. Same is with the performance. Now application will work work in a better way, because we will not be facing any kind of downtime. The data is stored at the very huge storage area network, and even there are so many backups as well as backup servers available. So even if one server is down, other servers are available at the moment to provide you the access to your data. So definitely the performance will be enhanced using the virtualized storage area network. Then it is, as it is centralized storage area network, so you can also consolidate the storage. Means it's not like you will be using only hard disk drives or only the SSDs. As I said earlier, you can use a combination of different kind of storage devices here. And even the hard disk devices can come in many number, or any other device can come in many number. So you can easily transfer the data to the remote sites using these virtual SAN network, because we are operating this entirely through the software defined data centers. So you can now think that you need not to restrict to use it only on a physical server. Then it is a very simplified way to manage the data at the central end. That is why people or the companies nowadays are opting the feature of virtualized storage area network. So with this, students, I hope that you are able to understand today's session on virtual LAN as well as virtual SAN. Thank you so much for joining this session.